Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 10 incredible watches for you guys and girls, ranging from vintage to new to mainstream brand to micro brand, everything you've come to expect at Kibble Watches. It's what we aim to do, and I have listened, you guys and girls have spoken. I got a lot of messages about my question in regards to the amount we should do in a drop, and it seems like 10 is a pretty good number for most people. It's easy to sort of scroll through the website, see all 10 new watches, and it's enough that this video doesn't become too long. For those of you that actually sit and watch this, I'm quite amazed by how many, because I can see the statistics, how many of you actually watch from the start to the end, so thank you all very much. But for those of you that don't, if you want to skip to a specific watch here on the table today, you can do so via the description. There is each watch listed, a timestamp to skip to that specific watch, and also a link to the website where you can view all the details, all the photos, additional photos under points of mention, and everything you could possibly know, including the price if it's available. If it's sold, it will say sold, and you won't be able to see the price. It's just how we do. Now, I want to say a big thank you. Last weekend I took an extended weekend, so I was off Friday until Monday. I came back Tuesday and I spent some time with my family, which was lovely. It was my daughter's first birthday, and I want to say a big thank you. You guys and girls really respected that weekend. I wasn't really hassled at all, which was fantastic. Typically there's usually a couple of people calling, and that's not a problem, but again, it was nice to have that weekend truly with my family and to celebrate such a special time. It was incredible. Now, as of the time of you watching this video, if you watch it on Saturday, the day it comes out, the following Monday is a bank holiday here in the UK, so we will not be shipping out any watches, unfortunately, and I won't be in Tuesday either, because Tuesday is actually my birthday, which I am looking forward to. I'm going to be 26. Crazy how quick all of that has come. So any orders placed over the weekend will be shipped on Wednesday. So I apologize for the delay, but again, bank holiday is inevitable, and Tuesday I have been forced by my wife to take off because I should celebrate my birthday apparently. So there you go. But yeah, thank you all very much for the patience. Now, before we crack on with what you're here to see and skip all my rambling, what is on wrist? I'm wearing a gorgeous Smith's W10 from circa 68, 69. I've spoken about this watch before, and I'll try and keep it brief. I bought this from the original owner, whose father was actually the head distributor for a company here in London that distributed multiple things to the military, including watches, and they had the Smiths contract. I have all this in a letter and all of his name and details and position at the company. I've got it all. But he requested a selection of the Smiths W10s without the engraving on the case back to be distributed between staff, and a couple obviously he kept for himself to give to his children. He had 2 sons, so he gave one to each of them. And I was fortunate enough to have bought it directly from the son, the person who was gifted this watch in 1968, with no engraving on the case back, so no military markings. But it's the exact same watch as the military ones, with the broad arrow on the dial, the tritium, everything. It's pretty much new old stock condition. It even came on a leather strap that he had fitted instead of the NATO, and obviously I've switched it straight back to the NATO. But really cool story, really cool watch, one that isn't for sale and hopefully won't be for sale, but of course, being a watch dealer, you never know, sometimes things change. But as of this moment, this is not for sale, it's staying with me. But there we have it. That's what's on wrist for me. A really cool watch. But let's crack on with what you're here to see. We're going to start with the Rolex Explorer Polar White. This is the 16570, but the special thing about this one isn't just the watch, which is special, but this is a full box papers, swing tags, bezel protector, you know, you name it, is in there, which is incredible. So let's take a closer look at this one. Starting off this week with the Rolex Explorer 2. This is the Polar White. Long discontinued reference in 40mm. As a lot of you know, the newer references are in 42mm. Personally, I find them a little too big for my wrist. They're wearable, but I think the 40mm is perfect, and I suspect one day they'll come back to this case size. I could be wrong, but I think they will. This is specifically the reference 16570 with the solid end links and the automatic Rolex caliber 3186 inside, which is a very reliable upgraded movement. And what we mean by solid end links, if you have a look at that end link and you look from underneath, that is one solid piece of metal rather than a folded piece of metal. If we show you here with this older Rolex, you can see it's hollow on the inside, and therefore these are referred to as hollow end links, and these are referred to as solid end links, or SEL as you often see it referred to in titles. What does that actually mean for usability? It means it's a more solid fitting to the case, and you have less of the rattle and less of the wobble, and it's basically Rolex starting to improve their build quality, which later came with solid links and a milled clasp with all of the crazy extensions that we now see today. Obviously plain case back as you'd expect. Now this one is from August 2004. As I said, it comes with its box, papers, swing tag, it comes with a bezel protector, it comes with all sorts. It even comes with a Rolex service card from 2015 and has been recently serviced as well and ready to go. Really beautiful example. It has been polished over the years. It's not been over polished, but it has seen a polish wheel, so do keep that in mind. But it's in very, very nice condition. The bezel is fantastic, and obviously the crystal is clear of marks and scratches as you'd expect. But that's enough of the rambling. Let's show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. I forgot to mention, but this is, as I say, 2004, so this is fully in the Luminova era, and that right there is the original dial and handset, which are beautiful and really, really nice and white. And the Lume has this slightly whiter, almost yellowy tone, which I think is really, really attractive and contrasts nicely against the sort of pure white of the dial, or the polar white as it's called. So what you're looking at here is 40mm by 47mm lug to lug, only 12mm thick and 20mm on the lug, so endless options, although the bracelet is definitely where it's at in my opinion for this model, and it does come with all 12 links as well. The spare link is in the box. So there you go check it out on the website today. Let's stick to the Rolex and have a look at this 6426 Oyster Precision, and annoyingly I didn't wear my 6694 today, which is essentially the same watch just with a date, and this has no date, so would have been cool to do the comparison. I apologize. If you want that comparison in photos because you're considering this watch, just let me know. I can send it over, I can bring my watch in, it's not a problem at all. But yeah, let's take a closer look at this now one. On to the Rolex Oyster Precision. This is the reference 6426. Now this is pretty much the exact same as the 6694, apart from the 6694 has a date and this one has no date, so arguably this is the cleaner aesthetic and potentially even the more aesthetically pleasing watch. Now I don't mind the date personally, and I don't mind the Cyclops, but I know a lot of you out there do, so this is the perfect one for you to choose. And I have to say, the simplicity of the text on the dial is what makes this so attractive to me. Literally Rolex, Oyster and Precision, and that is it. Obviously T Swiss T down at the bottom as you can see, and this dial is pristine. It's really wonderful with its original tritium markers, tritium lume pip, sorry, on the markers, and original tritium hands as well, which are aged as perfectly as the dial. It's really great to see this kind of example. Now we have left the case in the bracelet. It has been polished at some point in its past, but again not over polished, but we can have it fully refurbished for you if you wish. Bring that polish back to the bezel nicely if you so desire. It will come at additional cost and additional time frame. Do I think it's worth it? Personally, no. I like my watches to have a bit of wear, a bit of scratches here and there. I think it adds to the charm, and it also adds to the wearability because you can put it on and not have to worry about being the first person to put a scratch in it, or at least that's how I think. Now inside behind that case back, which you can see right there, nice plain screw down case back, and these are noticeably thinner than their automatic counterparts because inside is a manually wound manually wound Rolex caliber 1225, not an ETA. And this one's from circa 1975 based on the serial number, and the bracelet is the slightly heavier screw link bracelet as well. A really nice example, really lovely thing with a nice big screw down crown as well. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And there we go, paired comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. Now a lot of people think 34mm is too small for them. I couldn't disagree more. I think 34mm is such a fantastic size. Obviously 36mm is great too, but 34, there's a little charm to it, and I think it works really, really well. So this is 34mm by 41.5mm lug to lug, 9mm thick and 19mm on the lugs. So there are options with drilled lug holes as well to make strap changing nice and easy. So go check out this watch on the website today. From there over to the now discontinued Speedy Sapphire Sandwich. I do have to say, because a few people have pointed out, yes, the reference of this model is actually the leather strap model, and that's because this is the leather strap model. The leather strap with the deploying is in the box, but the owner who bought this watch back in 2017 bought the bracelet later on as well, so therefore it's got the bracelet and the leather strap. I chose to photograph it on the bracelet because it is worth more having the bracelet than just the leather strap, but it comes with both, so don't panic. I have put the reference right, and it is the right reference. It's just I've put it on the bracelet. Hopefully that will make sense, but let's take a closer look.
Here we go, discontinued Omega Speedmaster Sapphire Sandwich as it's referred to, and the reason for that is you have a sapphire crystal on front and a sapphire crystal on back, therefore sandwich, of course. So traditionally the Speedmaster Professional has always been Hesalite, but with the invention of sapphire they slowly incorporated it over, and the reason apparently they stuck to Hesalite for the longest time is because of durability. Now you might think, but Hesalite scratches, it can break, it can crack, all that kind of stuff, and that is true. However, if you are in space, apparently, and I guess this makes sense logically, you would rather something crack or scratch than shatter, because sapphire is more like glass. Therefore, if this was to ever hit something really hard and shatter, you'd end up with shards of glass floating around the spaceship. That doesn't sound like a particularly good idea, whereas for the most part, you won't get the same effect with Hesalite. It would crack or chip, and it would be larger pieces or whatever it might be. It's not going to shatter like glass. So apparently that's the reason Hesalite was preferred, especially in the early days. How true that is, I don't know. It's just something I remember learning a long time ago. But onto this watch. So this is the reference 311.33.42.30.01.002. That is a long reference. Thank you, Omega. And for those of you reference nerds out there, you'll hear that end digit 002, which refers to the strap and not the bracelet. Now, as I discussed in the intro to this part, but in case you missed it, this is the strap reference, meaning it comes with a black leather strap with a deployment buckle, and that is in the box. Now, the person who owned this watch decided to buy an OEM Omega Speedmaster bracelet from Omega, which does come with its spare links, and we have obviously kept it with the watch and photographed it on the watch. So there's not a discrepancy with the reference is correct. However, it now has an OEM Omega bracelet, making it essentially the other reference, other than the fact that the reference card says this reference, if that makes sense. Hopefully all of that jumble jamble made sense. But anyway, this one's from June 2017 with this box and paperwork. It is the larger display box with the medallion and the loop and all that kind of stuff. It does come with all that. The outer box has seen better days. It has been a bit worn, and there are some signs of wear on the box itself, but the inner box, the case itself, lovely condition, everything inside is perfectly fine. So in my opinion, it's not a problem, but again, for transparency, we'll always mention it. Now, as we flip the watch over, thanks to the sapphire crystal case back, you can see the movement right there, and that is the manually wound Omega caliber 1863. Again, for you movement nerds out there, you'll go, well, it's not the 1861, and what's the difference? Well, the only difference is the finishing. They have put a higher level of finishing on this movement compared to the standard one, because this one is visible. That's literally it, so it's the same movement. That's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else to say. Obviously the watch, I say obviously because you can see it, it is worn, it has been loved, there are some scratches here and there, but that can be very quickly resolved by a full case and bracelet refurb, which we can do in additional cost and time frame to delivery. So just let us know if you'd like that doing. And yeah, it's not been polished before, so it would be the first polish, but let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, comfortably paired on my 7-inch wrist. Now me personally, I do like the bracelet, but I prefer the watch on a leather strap. I think the Speedy looks fantastic on pretty much any strap, and that's why loads of people love the watch as well. So this is this is 42mm by 48mm lug to lug, 13mm thick, and 20mm on the lug. So endless options for swapping that out. And do remember you have the Omega deployment buckle as well, which is nice. So you can always fit straps to that size of buckle, and off you go. It will look great. So go check this one out on the website today.
From there, let's go over to, well, we're going to have to go over to this incredible watch. Probably one of my favorites, actually the Tudor is, but this is close second. This is a Breitling Navitimer Cosmonauts with the 24-hour dial, specific reference 809 from 1971. This is one of the best of this reference I've personally seen, and yeah, I'm amazed by it. And again, we've priced it so competitively when you have a look at the market. So enough rambling, let's take a closer look at this one.
I always love getting a vintage Breitling in, especially in a Navitimer, and this is a wonderful example. This is the Cosmonaut reference 809, which for those of you that really know your stuff, you're going to know that this is a 24-hour watch. Now, what do we mean by that? You might be asking. If you look at the dial, you can see all the numerals beautifully laid right there in 24 hours. And as we pull out the crown to change the time, you can see the hour hand goes round incredibly slowly compared to a normal watch. The reason for this is this is a 24-hour watch, meaning the hour hand goes around once every 24 hours rather than every 12 hours. So to really make that make sense, right now I am showing 6 a.m. And if you, again, have used a watch before, you'll know typically the hour hand would be pointing down to be showing 6 a.m. But that's because this is 24 hours. So there is a 12-hour and there is a 12-hour rather than it all being a single 12-hour. Hopefully that explanation made sense. Sometimes I explain things a little backwards, so I apologize if that didn't make much sense, but there you go. So that is the reference 809 Cosmonaut for you. You have the beautiful double wings logo right there at 12 o'clock. 3 subdials, you've got your running seconds over at 9 o'clock, a 30-minute totalizer for the chronograph, and a 12-hour totalizer for the chronograph, all of which works beautifully. This watch is fresh from a service. So you can rest assured you're getting a really lovely running example. The time graph for reading is insane. It's like a second a day. It's incredible. Better than a modern one, to be honest. You have your slide rule bezel right here, which allows you to do all kinds of calculations. You know, I will leave you to research that, otherwise we'll be here all day. And also I know very few, I know how to actually read the bezel not very well at all, so it would be a painful video otherwise. Now, as we flip it over, you can see the case back, which has got a couple of scratches here and there, but everything's still very nice, very visible. And this one is from circa 1971, and inside behind this case back is a manually wound Venus caliber 178, and this is the 24-hour version rather than the 12-hour version. It is apparently literally 1 gear difference between the two, which I find amazing. But anyway, so that is pretty much it. The case condition is fantastic. I would go as far as saying this is unpolished, or as close to unpolished as you're going to get, because that chamfer after one polish becomes incredibly soft, and if you look at it all the way across the watch, that is razor sharp. So I don't know how much better you're going to get than this. Original bezel as well, it just looks truly fantastic. Nice original Breitling sign crown. Oh, and also a nice Hirsch strap with a Breitling buckle as well. So that's a modern Breitling buckle, but a Breitling buckle nonetheless. So let's show this one on wrist and tour dimension. And here we go, comfortably paired, I can't English today, on my 7-inch wrist. This is perfectly proportioned in my opinion at 40.5, not 45, 40.5 mil by 48 mil lug to lug, only 12.5 mil thick, and a lot of that is in that domed acrylic, so keep that in mind, and 22 mil on the lug, so endless options, but this combination looks fantastic and is probably what it would have been paired on originally. So go check out this one on the website today. From there, let's go over to a watch that is my favorite in this week's drop. This is this gorgeous 9-carat gold cushion Tudor from 1957 with a Rolex case, as you'd expect for this period, and a manually wound ETA inside. Really lovely thing. Yes, it's on the smaller side, but you know what, it wears incredibly well, and again, for way under £1,000 you can get into a solid gold Tudor made by Rolex. I mean, that's pretty crazy to me from the 50s. So let's take a closer Tudor time with this gorgeous vintage Tudor cushion case, as you can see, and this is cased in 9-carat gold, and the dial features this beautifully patinaed simple Tudor dial with a Tudor rose, these lovely applied indices and those sword hands which the loom has come out of over time, so they've remained pretty much hollow. The minute hand still has some of the loom in there. You could get it refilled, you know, my watchmaker asked me if I wanted it doing. I personally like to leave things as they come, because again, I think these kind of things are part of the charm. That's part of the history and story of this watch. Running seconds down there at 6, and in typical fashion of this period, which by the way, this is circa 1957, you do have fitted spring bars, so they're fitted bars that gold goes all the way through, as you can see, straight through the strap. Right there. So you do need open-ended straps to go round, and talking about strap, this is a vintage very old leather strap as well. So if you were going to wear this thing daily, I probably would recommend picking up a new strap that you can wear it daily with, but right now it's just paired on this because I think it looks, personally, I think it looks fantastic, and probably similar to what it might have come on. Maybe it would have come on a plain black, but either way, you got a crown right there at 3 o'clock with a hallmark on the side of the case, and a plain case back which on the inside has all the hallmarkings, which is how we've dated it to circa 1957, and it's also a case by Rolex as well, and this is a reference 7346. Now behind that case back is a manually wound ETA caliber 1250, workhorse, super reliable, small ETA. Talking about small, let's show this one on wrist and taught dimensions, because I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by how well it actually wears, because the dimensions don't really tell the full picture because the case is cushion shaped. So again, it wears that little bit bigger. Again, it's not a big watch by any means, but it's a really beautiful watch and has a great wrist presence. So let's show on wrist and taught dimensions. And there we go on my 7-inch wrist. Now personally, I would totally rock this and I'd feel very comfortable, but then again, I like smaller watches, so for me this is no push or stretch. I understand how for some people it probably would be, but I'd say give it a shot, give it a real chance, and I think you might be quite surprised. So this is 29mm by 35mm lug to lug, only 8mm thick, which is incredibly thin, and 17mm on the lugs, so you will need a 17mm open-ended strap. You could put a 16mm on as well, and that would fit. You would have a little bit of wobble, so it really depends on the thickness of the strap, but 16 or 17mm, the one on it right now is 17. So there you go. So go check this one out on the website today.
From there over to a Doxa Sub 300 Sea Rambler limited edition for the 50th anniversary. They only made 300 of these. I've had a couple over the years. They always do really well. They've pretty much stayed around the same sort of price, which is interesting. And people really like them, and I can see why. And obviously you've got the aqua lung symbol right there on the dial. This one does come with its box and papers, which has like a CD, a stitch patch of the aqua lung, the Doxa tool. Like, it's got everything it comes with, which is pretty cool. So let's take a closer look at this one.
Now on to the Doxa Sub 300 Sea Rambler Aqua Lung limited edition of 300 pieces. Now try and say that one 20 times. This is a really cool watch. I've had a few of these over the years, even though they only made 60, and it features that classic Sub 300 by Doxa C case with the iconic dual timing bezel and the vibrant hands, and as you can see right there is an aqua lung patch on the dial, which is really, really awesome, and it comes with that aqua lung patch in the box as well, so you get both, which is really, really cool. Now the reference to this one is 820.10.021.10 USD. And inside is an automatic ETA 2824-2, which was done to chronometer standard, and this one is from September 2018 with its box and paperwork and spare links. It also was serviced in 2021, and it comes with paperwork for that. It wasn't serviced by Doxa, but again, that paperwork is in there as well. So a really great example, nice provenance and nice history, original screw down crown as well. And overall just great condition. Has been worn, you will see signs of wear, but overall nothing too terrible. I often find these polished case backs do get scratched up because people lie them down flat like that and the bracelet rubs against the case back. So I always recommend leaving bracelet watches down like that. If you're ever going to view a watch, by the way, as well, and you're looking at a bracelet watch out of courtesy for the shop or whoever you're looking at, always try and put them down like this. Again, it's not something you'll ever get or shouldn't get thrown out for or anything like that. Shouldn't be that dramatic, but again, it's just courteous, because then you're keeping the condition all good and you're not putting any extra scratches in. Just thought I'd throw that in there. But anyway, let's show this one on wrist and taught dimensions. And there we go on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, it fits really nicely. Yes, these are bigger watches, but to be honest, they wear incredibly well, and that's thanks to that CK shape, which just hugs the wrist perfectly. So dimensions, you're looking at 42.5mm by 45.5mm lug to lug, only 13mm thick and 20mm on the lugs. Doxa do a lot of fitted strap options, but to be honest, this bracelet just works perfectly, especially with how it flares out after the initial lug width and comes down to the size of the case. I think that's really nicely done and one of the charming things about this Doxa. So go check it out on the website today.
Now on to a forever classic with the Tudor Black Bay 58. This is the blue. We do have a black on the website if you are interested, so it's great to have both. It's always nice to compare. A lot of people, when they come to see a Black Bay 58, they ideally want to see both, and I try and always have them in stock, but obviously it's very difficult when one sells. I have to try and get another one, and I try and always focus on condition and set and price obviously as well. So I'm usually, I think I am pretty much always the best price on the Black Bay 58s out there as a dealer. You might find the occasional private on eBay selling for like £50 less or something like that, but for the most part I'm usually the best. So take a look at this one.
Another Tudor Black Bay 58, this time the blue. As I said in the intro, I always try and have a black and a blue on the website at all times because they're just good sellers, they're good stock and people really like them, and they're great value for money pre-owned as well, there's no doubt about it. So this is the reference 79030B, and the B refers to the blue and N is on the the end digit for the black, for noir. So that's how you can tell the reference, for those of you wondering. Now this one's from August 2022, it does come with its box, paperwork, spare links as you'd expect, and it is in good condition. There are a couple of hairline scratches here and there, you've still got a sticker on the case back, but overall very, very nice condition. You can't really go wrong with this one at all, especially if you're looking for a big saving on retail, you're going to get that right here. Now it does come with its faux rivet bracelet, as you'd expect, with its screw links and its deployment clasp, which you can see right there, still a sticker on there. And as I say, sticker on the case back, and behind that case back is the automatic Tudor caliber MT5402, a reliable workhorse movement Tudor have used for a while now. And again, it's nice having no date on here. I think aesthetically it's very pleasing. And as I say, right now, as of the time of recording this video, we do also have the black on the website. So if you're after the black or the blue and you want to make a decision and look at them both, by all means book an appointment, we can show you both of them and you can make a decision which one you'd prefer. So that's enough of the rambling, let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And there we go on my 7-inch wrist. Now I've been fortunate enough to have owned the blue and the black personally, and I really like them both. I do think the black wins for me in longer term, but I have to be honest, on a clear day like today where it's 26 degrees, which is hot for the UK, I can tell you, a watch like this with the blue I think I'd prefer. It's a great summer watch, so go check this one out. Oh no, I haven't talked dimension, sorry. So 39mm by 47.5mm lug to lug, only 12mm thick and 20mm on the lugs, so go check this one out on the website today. From there to a watch I had recently sold, I managed to get another one. This is the Formex Reef for Collective limited edition with the bronze dial. This one is also worn just like the last one, apart from the bracelet hasn't been worn, it's still fully stickered, and it comes with the fitted rubber strap as well, so a nice set. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now we're on to the Formex, and this is the Formex Reef Chronometer limited edition for Collective with that beautiful bronze dial, as you can see right there. So this watch is pre-owned, but it does come with its bracelet, which is unused, and it comes with a fitted rubber strap as well by Formex, which is very nice. Now the stickers are starting to come off in some places, so just do keep that in mind. Again, it's one of those things, like I'd probably say 99% actually, really aren't bothered by that sort of stuff, but some people, when they see stickers and they get the watch and it's slightly peeled off, they're a bit frustrated. So just so you know, the stickers are a bit loose. That's just how stickers work, because they have to come off. So I apologize if that irritates you, but here we go. So the dial right there is that beautiful bronze color, but it's not just a bronze color, that is a solid piece of bronze, and they've applied a very generous coating over it to basically stop it from patinaing, because for those of you that know bronze or brass or any of these materials, they patina, they oxidize, so very quickly they lose that luster that they have when they're fresh bronze, like this dial right here. But this will keep it, which I think is really interesting, and nicely done by Formex. I don't know of any other brand that have actually done this, to be honest, but the reference to this one is 2200.1.638X, and this one's from April 2023 with its box and paperwork, and as I said, with an additional Formex fitted rubber strap. You can see the photo of that in the box shot on the website, and inside is the automatic Sellita SW200-1, which is done to chronometer spec, as you can see proudly stated on the dial. Now as we flip it over, you can see the clasp is still fully stickered. Let me see if I can do this without removing the stickers or just peeling it back a little bit. Oh, there's another sticker on there, you're all good. Plenty of stickers. On the other side, you can see a little push down that allows you to adjust on the fly the bracelet. So you have on the fly adjust, which is fantastic, and you can see nicely decorated case back. But let's show this one rested on wrist and taught dimensions. And there we go, rested against my 7-inch wrist. You can see it's definitely got wrist presence, but it's really nicely done at 42mm by 48.5mm lug to lug, only 11mm thick, which is incredibly thin for this reference. And 22mm on the lug, so yes, on the larger side, but these are quick release, very easy to do, and also the rubber strap is quick release, so you're able to switch and swap between the two on the fly, nice and easy. So go check this one out on the website today. From there over to a Seiko Prospex limited edition with the blue dial and the black bezel. This is the SPB149J1, a really cool watch. There's not really a huge amount to say on these, because even at their retail price, I actually think they're pretty damn fair. So when they become pre-owned,
and it's even fairer, if that's a word, even more fair. Let's take a closer look at this one.
We go. I've said it many times and I'll say it again, the SPB range from Seiko has become some of my favourite from modern Seiko in recent years. There's a really nice subtle nod to the original 62 MAS, the 62 MAS, but it's brought to modern standards with modern colour, build quality, the bracelet, and everything like that, and I think it's really, really nicely done. So this is the reference SPB149J1, which is a limited edition of 5,500 pieces. There's definitely a few out there, but again, in the grand scheme of Seiko worldwide, 5,500 probably isn't that many at all. I would say they make many more of all the other references. This one does come on its original bracelet, as you can see, nice designed case back as you'd expect, and inside is the automatic Seiko Caliber 6R35. Now another reason I really like these references is they have the coating or die shield coating, whatever it's called by Seiko, which is a coating they put over the stainless steel, and it gives it kind of this titanium look. In my opinion, it's a bit darker than traditional steel, but it's also hardened, so it resists better against scratches. Now that doesn't mean it's scratch resistant, it means it resists better to scratches than traditional steel. So keep that in mind. Now this has the matte black bezel, which when you look really closely, it's almost got like a record disc finish, a vinyl, if that makes sense. And you have the really nice dark blue dial and the pop of gold on the second hand and the type on the text at the bottom as well of the dial. Really nicely done. This one is from February 2021 with its box and paperwork and its original Seiko rubber strap as well, which is nice. So you've got both options with drilled lug holes to make strap changing really nice and easy. But let's show this one on wrist and taught dimensions. And there we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. Yes, they are on the larger side, but they wear incredibly well. So what you're looking at dimension-wise is 40.5mm by 47.5mm lug to lug. I think that will be perfectly fine for almost everyone. 13.5mm thick and 20mm on the lug. So endless options, but between the bracelet and the rubber strap it comes with, to be honest, I think you're set. Yes, it looks great on a leather strap as well, but I would be wearing it pretty much all the time on the bracelet. So go check this one out on the website today.
Now on to an isotope. I've had a few of these over the years now. They are fantastic. I love how they wear on wrist. The design is super unique. This is the Hydrium Pro Nordblad limited to 100 pieces. A very cool watch, and again priced incredibly well. Their retail price has definitely come up a bit over the years, but you know what, it's still very reasonable. But the price we're asking for this is just incredible, really. I don't think you can go wrong. So let's take a closer look at this one.
Now on to the isotope. So this is the Hydrium Pro Nordblad limited edition of 100 pieces. Now you can read more details about what this is limited for on the website. It's a really great little write-up, and it talks about a Netflix series and a really great achievement as well. So go check all that out if you are interested. But to be honest, I'm more of a design person. The stories behind watches are fantastic, but modern limited editions, for me, if they don't look good, it doesn't matter. So that's why I'm going to focus on the design here, because I absolutely love it. I think the Hydrium Pro is really well designed with that really iconic, or at least I think iconic now to isotope design, with the dial and the handset. They're called the I hands by Isotope because they look like I, the letter I with the little dot on the end. Really striking second hand in that really nice baby blue color, which the Nordblad is in baby blue as well. You have that bezel which has luminova inlay, which just glows really nicely, as well as the dial. Signed screw down crown and a very interesting case profile which just hugs the wrist. These big fat bold lugs, which are very nicely done. The overall case profile is wonderful. And as we flip it over, you can see an exhibition case back right there showing a very simple but very well made automatic movement. This is the automatic Landeron Caliber 24, so you don't often see Landeron used in modern watches. We're starting to see it a bit more, but what I will say, and something I've noticed with all of the isotopes and other ones with a Landeron, is you do have to give them a really good wind before you get going for that rotor to sort of carry on its work as it normally should. So some watches you can pick them up and give them like 2 turns of the ground and they're pretty much going and off you go. This one you might want to sit there and give it a nice good wind before putting it on, just to be sure. This one's from April 2023 with its box and paperwork, which is a nice travel case. You can take that everywhere, and it comes on its original Isotope FKM rubber strap with quick release, which is really, really nice and comfortable. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And there we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. Again, this isn't a small watch, but it wears really nicely and is super comfortable. What you're looking at is 40mm by 47.5mm look to look, 14.5mm thick, and do keep in mind some of that is with that domed sapphire crystal that protrudes from the center, as you can probably just about see, and 22mm on the look, so endless options. But to be honest, this pairing I think works perfectly, so go check it out on the website today.
So there you have it, guys and girls. 10 watches, really ranging in everything you can possibly imagine. That's always my goal. You know, you guys know this at Kibble Watches. This is what I want to be able to provide. I want to provide, yes, some more mainstream stuff, but still a little bit left field, right? It might not just be a standard Explorer. It's one that's got the box and papers, solid end links. You know, there's a little bit more to it. It might not just be a standard Oyster Precision. It's the no-date version, really nice example, nice dial, you know, so on and so on. So I always try and keep it really interesting, and I think you guys and girls appreciate that, especially with how the industry is at the moment. The sort of market is where it is, and obviously August is the quietest month of the year typically for this industry, and I'm still doing really well, so I cannot complain, and that's thanks to you guys and girls, so truly thank you. Next week we've got some interesting bits. If it's not sold by then already, we have another Speedmaster, the Apollo 11, which is the tritium from the 90s. We have a 2001 Cartier Tank Basculante. We have a beautiful Tissot T12 Visidate that I probably showed a while back on my wrist that I was keeping. Unfortunately, as always, you know, other watches come in and certain watches go out, so that's one. Plus so many other, including the Ricca Summer Breeze by Grand Seiko. Keep an eye out, you'll see next week, next Saturday, 9:30 a.m, like every week, there'll be another 10, hopefully, incredible watches. So we'll see you all again then. Take care. Bye-bye.